Well, it's cloudy, but trust me, it's not raining, and that is the best news we've heard in a while. Tonight, Game 2 of this day-night doubleheader between the Rockies and Nationals on a difficult week weather-wise. Rockies won this afternoon 6-2. They're now within a game of 500. The Nationals off to a very fine start. They're 20-16 despite the loss a few hours ago. Hi, once again, everybody. With Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. You know what? Let me get one thing straightened out right now, because people were asking us, hey, how come the afternoon game wasn't on? We could not televise it locally. It fell inside what is known as the national television window. The Rockies won. Very good news, obviously. Ubaldo Jimenez improved to 7-1. He went 8 innings.
Yeah, another phenomenal start for Ubaldo. I mean, we've come to expect this every single time out now. And even think back to his one loss. He could have easily won that ball game, been 8-0. But he's not. He's 7-1. His ERA did balloon a little bit today, folks, to 1.12.
Silly stuff right now. You mentioned the one loss he had. Yeah. He gave up 2 hits in 7 innings.
Yep.
He's been amazing, and he was pretty fine this afternoon. Ryan Zimmerman in the first inning, they got a run. Look at this. That's a bullet. Just a bullet.
I think the barrel of the bat went almost as far as the ball.
But you got to give him credit. That's the only way you're going to beat Ubaldo. But it's Jason Giambi tying the game the second inning. Boy, that looked good.
It did. 62-mile-an-hour curveball out into the bullpen.
Giambi getting the start in the afternoon. In the fourth inning, Miguel Olivo, he's 2 for 28 a couple of days ago. He has gone nuts.
Think where these home runs are starting to go again. Center field, left center field. Not so much of a pull guy.
One mistake for Ubaldo, a changeup on 2-2, and Adam Dunn, don't look down there. He hit it off the third deck. Only the 29th player ever to go up there. First home run against Ubaldo this year. No problem. Opposite field base hit for Stewie.
Well, and that's so nice to see, because Ian has that power and ability to go the other way.
That was in the 6th. The Rockies up 3-2, and then they would blow it open in the 8th inning against Brian Bruni. Stewart with a double. Brad Hopp, who was on base all afternoon, scores. And then Clint Barmas, this was good to see, right back up the middle.
2 base hits up the middle today. All 4 of his swings were right there. Those 3 RBIs in the 8th inning to extend the lead.
And Manuel Corpus, a clean 9th inning after 8 strong from Jimenez, and the Rockies get to shake hands afterward. A good start to the day.
Well, it was nice, too, because first and foremost, you didn't have to play in the rain. I mean, it's been that kind of thing, but to go out there in a split doubleheader, you had yesterday off, to go out and win that first one, you had your ace on the hill, go out and do that. Now you have a chance to sweep a doubleheader, which is kind of difficult to do, but you had a little bit of rest, so now you can go out there and get this second ball game.
I'll tell you how difficult it is to do. The last time the Rockies swept a doubleheader, September of 2007 against the Dodgers. Look who's back. Jason Hamill. We'll talk about him next. you end up a weatherman. That's what we have felt like the last few days here at Coors Field. 3 rainouts. We're not going to have a 4th tonight. Don't show those dark clouds. Get them off the screen. The Rockies had to make a roster move between games. Eric Young, who has a stress fracture in his tibia, is going to be out for anywhere from 3 to 4 to 6 weeks. And he was put on the disabled list. He was hitting .276, doing a really good job. Jason Hamill reinstated from the DL. The good news, Huey, with Jason is he was able to really keep his throwing program. He had just a slight groin injury, so it's not like he was down.
Yeah, that's a big thing, because if he was out much longer, he wouldn't be able to come back as quickly as he did. It was just one of those minor things, but he was still able to throw enough where he only had to go down and make a rehab start. This start's been pushed back a couple days. He's ready to go, though.
He's ready to go, and I know the guy tomorrow is ready to go. Jeff Francis, he said he's going to walk around in a suit of armor the next couple of days leading up to his start against Scott Olsen on Sunday.
You know what? And good for him. This has been a long, hard road for Jeff Francis. Had to battle through a lot of injuries, and even he thought he was ready to go, and then another injury crops up. He is so excited. He's like a kid in a candy store right now. Just talking to him in the clubhouse, he's looking forward to tomorrow.
That will be tomorrow afternoon. First things first, the Rockies looking for the sweep. Jason Hamill on the hill. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. By E470, drive it today and pay later with license plate toll, or get the lowest toll rate now with Express Toll. By Ford Fusion, it's the 2010 Motor Trend Car of the Year, Ford Fusion. Drive one. And by Grainger, with over 900,000 products for the ones who get it done. First pitch is brought to you tonight by Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space in your name to 95323 to receive your Domino's special offer and to be entered to win a pizza party for 15. One weekly winner will be chosen. Thrilled as always you're with us. The Rockies trying to get back to 500. Jason Hamill's first pitch of the ball game on the inside corner, a strike on Niger Morgan.
Niger 2 for 2 in the first ball game today.
Yep, also a walk. Pesky Niger Morgan hit over 300 last year. His average right now at 274.
That's a good way to describe him, because he can bunt, he can slap the ball over your head, he can hit the ball in the gap, bobble it a little bit, he'll take the extra base.
Pitch very close, but just missed. 2 balls and a strike. Fielded Colbreth is behind home plate.
Fielding had the first game off today.
And the fastball at 93. Swung on and fouled off late by Morgan. Marty Foster's at first. Gary Cedarstrom's at crew chief. He's at second. And Ed Hickox, excuse me, he's not working Ed Hickox.
No,
he worked the plate in the first game. So it's Mike Lichlinski. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
We saw that in the supposedly doubleheader the other day. The veteran umpires can take the day off, and at least for one of the games. And that's what they did here today.
Here's the 2-2 from Hamill, and he jams him with another fastball. This is dumped into left field and foul ground. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Washington Nationals. Their manager, Jim Riggleman. Willie Harris gets the start in a 2-hole. Then Ryan Zimmerman, he had 3 more hits in the first game. He's killed the Rockies this year, 11 for 21. Adam Dunn hit the mammoth home run in game 1. He was 1 for 4. Christian Guzman will bat 5th and play second base. Roger Bernardina, Ian Desmond, the backup catcher Will Nieves, and then the pitcher Luis Adelano. Here's another 2-2 from Hamill at strike 3 on the outside corner at 95. That's a good way to start.
Well, it is, to get that backward strikeout to start the ball game after you've been down for a while with an injury. Right on the outside part of the plate, Paul Phillips set up, holds it for fielding, just off the edge of the plate just a little bit. Hey, let's take a look at the scouting report right now for Jason Hamill. Fastball 90 to 95. We just saw his 95. Curveball over the top, 12-6. Slider, changeup. It's all about getting that downhill plane for Jason. He's got to be able to work down into the zone. Anytime he starts to get it up a little bit, that ball elevates and just really flattens out.
Here's the 1-0 on Harris. Willie straightened me out on something the other day, and I apologize for all the people from, now I'm going to mess it up again. It's Cairo, Georgia. I thought it's spelled like Cairo, Egypt, so I thought it was Cairo. I've never been to Cairo, Georgia.
But now you know.
But now I know.
Yeah.
Willie let me know that. 3-0 on Harris. Veteran player, 31-year-old, hit a home run earlier this year against the Rockies. Been struggling with the bat, 1 for his last 15. Taken all the way. It's in there, 3-1. Typically, you just saw the scouting report on Hamill. Typically, Jason's going to throw strikes. He does not walk a lot of people.
And right now on the season, he had 8 walks in 18 innings prior to coming back here.
Which is unusual.
Yeah, it is. I mean, typically he's a guy that's going to walk maybe a batter a ball game. He's going to make you put the ball in play, and that's what he needs to do. Use that defense that lowers your pitch count. You start to elevate it. You got to get out of the ball game in the 5th or 6th inning.
Here's the 3-2, and this is fouled off. And I think it's a real luxury, because if you look up the number 5 starters, even the number 4 starters in the big leagues, they're more often than not guys that have to nibble, guys that do have higher pitch counts, more walks. This guy's more of a power pitcher in the back end of a rotation.
Yeah, he's got top-notch shelf stuff. Go ahead and throw it.
Pounds the zone there. Seth Smith will make the catch. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively. Behind Hamill tonight, they'll have Smith, Gonzalez, and Hopp in the outfield. Same as game 1. Stewart and Tulowitzki left side. That's the same as game 1. Barmes again at second base. Helton for Giambi at first. And Paul Phillips doing the catching. There's Paulie. You got to say it like, Paulie. Yeah, you got to say it like a New Yorker, Paulie.
He likes that too.
He does like that. Well, he's from Mississippi, so he likes to change in accent.
That's because he's a character.
He is that. Here's Ryan Zimmerman. He takes strike 1. Rockies can't get him out.
6 for 9 in this series. 3 runs scored, double, couple home runs, 7 RBIs.
11 for 21 overall against the Rockies. Here's the 0-1. That was well located, just off the plate. 1-1. Thursday, really only 2 mistakes from Yolis Chacin. This one in the first inning, a hanging slider to Zimmerman, and then another slider that was center cut That was a 3-run home run.
Yeah, I said that on the postgame show for that ball game. I mean, you look at his numbers, they might have been skewed just a little bit, but I didn't think he pitched all that bad.
See, I agree with you, Jeff. I thought he pitched pretty well.
Yeah, and let's think about the conditions that night, too. Very wet. It's tough to grip the baseball. You know, Ryan Zimmerman, let's not forget, this guy was an all-star last year, so it's not like he's some guy you just called up from Double-A making his first appearance here. You make a mistake, he will make you pay.
Here's the 2-1. They want to come in, and they got it in. And it's a fly ball to left field. Got it around the label as opposed to the barrel. Good start for Jason Hamill in his return off the DL. That impressive first inning by Jason Hamill. Carlos Gonzalez will be first. He was first in the afternoon affair. He'll be followed by Seth Smith. Brad Hoff's been hitting in the 3-hole, and he's been raking. Troy Tulowitzki will bat cleanup. That is his customary spot. Todd Helton, fifth. Ian Stewart, a couple RBIs, a couple hits in game one. Clint Barmes, a couple RBIs in game one. Paul Phillips in the 8th spot, and then Hamill. So here's Cargo. He had a hit in his final at bat, which extended his hitting streak to 8 ball games. And he is facing Luis Adelano, and that's the 5th career start for Adelano. He was called up the latter part of April when Jason Marquis went on the disabled list. By the way, the former Rocky and All-Star last year had elbow cleanup surgery yesterday. That's in there 1-1. He had bone spurs floating around.
Well, he tried to pitch through it, and just finally his elbow just locked up on him. Couldn't move it, couldn't do anything. So they said, go get it cleaned out. You'll be back in 4 to 6 weeks.
That's down low. Adelano, more of a sinker, curveball changeup.
Well, he's got to pitch to the corners. If he starts to put the ball in the middle of the plate, it's going to be a great night for the Rockies and a short night for him.
Yeah, that was his slider, and he got the head of the bat out front just a little bit, and Gonzalez skies it to Bernardino, 1 out. Let's take a look at the scouting report on the native of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, fastball 87 and 92, as you mentioned, Drew. He will sink it, change up, mainly to left-hander, slider, and then a big curveball, 69 to 75, mainly to right-handers. But as I mentioned a moment ago, he's got to be able to shape the corners, mix and match just a little bit, because he does not have overpowering stuff. But you talk to scouts, they say this young man knows how to pitch.
Seth Smith getting a start in both ball games. Dexter Fowler pitch hit in the first game, not getting a start in the second game, but scuffling a little bit with the bat. Chip Tracy's done this before, trying to heat up a player, in this case Smith, and maybe give a full day down for a kid like Dexter Fowler.
Yeah, a little bit of a mental break. Yeah, I know Dexter has not been hitting, but he's still been getting on base, getting his walks. But at the same time, and this is going to allow Seth, who had 3 at-bats in the first game, to go out there and throw another 3 or 4 at-bats in this game. Get a little bit of a continuity together for his his at-bats.
Well, whenever you have Smith in the lineup, it's a good thing in my eyes. I mean, the Rockies have such great depth, the luxury of having 5 outfielders, honestly, that would start for a majority of the teams in baseball. That's in there. It's 3-2.
Well, first look or second look at the Ford strike zone, trying to work away. Ball was off the plate, 89 miles an hour. Fielding Culbreth has already called a couple strikes out there.
And that is wide of the zone. So that is walk number 13 on the season for Adelano. 1 out, 1 on. Here comes Brad Hopp as we look at the Nationals defensively. Willie Harrison left. Nigel Morgan in center. Bernardino runs exceptionally well in right. Good arm. Zimmerman's as good as it gets at third. Desmond can be a highlight package at short. Guzman at second. He's a former shortstop. Adam Dunn at first. And the backup catcher, Will Nieves. Brad Hopp's first 3 at bats in game 1. Double, double, double.
And really to different areas, too. He had to double the left, double the right center field, double down the line, and kind of spraying the ball all over the place, but with power.
If he can stay healthy and keep the body from wearing down as it did late last year, and Jim Tracy has said he's going to make sure that he keeps Brad Hopp for the final 4-6 weeks of the season. He is year in and year out been a guy that's mid-20s in home run, 85 to 100 RBIs, and a batting average in that 285 range. That's quite a player.
That is, and that's part of the reason why now he slid up to the number 3 spot in the batting order too, because you have that luxury to move him up there. He's swinging the bat well. Go ahead and use that guy now that can drive in some runs from Brad. It just expands the field so much more for the Rockies.
Let's take a look at the Suzuki keys to the game.
Okay.
Huey, what do you have?
First and foremost, I have my fingers crossed. Another rain-free game. I mean, no more rain right now, okay? 2, 3, 4. I'm talking about these are the innings that have really hurt Jason. In the first inning, 0 runs, which he did tonight. And then after the 4th inning, he's also given up 0 runs. So watch those. And then energy. You've had about 3 hours off now. Come out with some energy. I know it's tough to regroup, but you have to do it.
Brad wastes that pitch. The thing with Adelano, he's ahead 0-2, but he's not a punch-out type pitcher. He doesn't really have a swing and miss pitch.
Well, because nothing is overpowering. He's got 4 pitches that are, if you grade them out, probably maybe one's average at best. The others are kind of below average, right at the average mark. So he has nothing that really scares you as a hitter, but he can mix and match and put some ones in different places.
This is going to drop into right center field for a base hit. Seth Smith will go first to third. And Brad Hopp gives the Rockies 2 on with 1 out here in the opening frame.
Well, that fastball was 90 miles an hour, tried to go up and in a little bit, came back over the middle part of the plate. Brad didn't hit it all that hard, got a little bit towards the label, but the Hyundai cam will show that good hand position as that bat comes through the zone. That big follow-through allowed him to drive that ball out into right center.
A chance for the Rockies to get a jump on the Nationals. And the last 20 games, it's been the other way around. Washington, over the last 20 games, in the first inning, has outscored the opponent 17-2. They've got 10 straight without allowing a first inning run. And the Rockies are not going to get a first inning run here either. A 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Troy Tulowitzki. 6-3 double play. Time for the Breaks Plus Take a Break poll of the game. Welcome to the Sweet 16 of ballpark food. Remember we did this last Saturday? All right, which do you like better, popcorn or Cracker Jacks? Text your answers to 95323. Popcorn, text rocks 1. Cracker Jacks, rocks 2. Adam Dunn at the plate. He takes hot ball 1. Breaks Plus celebrating 20 years. They're rolling back prices as well. During the month of May, get $49 semi-metallic breaks, $69 lifetime breaks. Here's the 1-0, and that's on the ground to help, and he'll get some help from Jason Hamill. 1 out. Now, remember, we had a very close vote, and we thank folks. We had over 4,000 votes last week, and hot dogs, Huey, 51% over brats. And I have hot dogs as the #1 seed, by the way.
Yeah, but they were following me, because didn't you pick brats that week? Or were you,
well, I like brats better. But I thought hot dogs would win.
It was much closer than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Now we're going over to the Western bracket here, and it's popcorn tonight against Cracker Jacks. What's your preference?
Cracker Jacks.
See, I'm a popcorn guy. I'm not a real big Cracker Jack guy. That's why I throw them out the window at the 7th inning.
That's because you're nice. I always keep one bag for myself.
I've noticed that.
The rest of them out.
Well, tell the truth. It's actually 2 that you keep. denying the patrons down there 2 bags of Cracker Jacks.
Not.
It's the 1-0 on Guzman, and he lifts it to center field. That didn't look like it was hit as well as or as far as it ended up. And with 2 outs, we check in for the first time tonight with Alana Rizzo. Alana, Cracker Jacks or popcorn?
Well, I'm going to go with popcorn because I really don't like caramel or peanuts. So, Huey, I do have this bag of Cracker Jacks for you that I will bring you. And people were telling, I'm 0 for 1 on the bracket, by the way, because I picked brats, and people were telling me I was trying to sway the vote. Hot dogs won anyway. So I really have absolutely no influence. But you got to go with either the popcorn or the Cracker Jacks for this Breaks Plus poll. I'm going with popcorn just because I think it tastes better. But Cracker Jacks, I mean, if you want to be like a purist, baseball purist, and traditionalist, I would say you have to go with Cracker Jacks. So don't forget to text us in for the Breaks Plus poll and see who moves on in the bracket, guys. And Huey, I'll bring these up to you. Drew, do you want the popcorn?
No,
because
it'll get caught in my throat.
That's true.
I like popcorn. Bernardina.
Dougie will take the popcorn.
1-1. Actually, you could bring it up for Dougie, who's doing nothing here but eating anyhow. So that'll just add to his calorie intake tonight. 2 outs, 1-1 count. Roger Bernardina. You know, there's a song, baseball song, very famous song that has Cracker Jacks in it.
That's why I'm taking it. If you sing it every game, you should eat it too.
This is topped up the middle, and it's hitting the right spot. So Bernardina, a 2-out base knock, and that'll bring up Ian Desmond.
That just kind of picked up a little speed, because when he first hit it, I thought Troy might have an opportunity to get that. Great action from the Hyundai cam. Jason just showing that 2-seam fastball. Roger just beats it into the ground right in front of home plate, and then it hits again and hops over the head of Jason Hamill and just bounced into center field.
So here's the rookie Ian Desmond. He's got some juice in his bat. They really have high hopes that this will be their shortstop for a long period of time.
Well, I don't see why it shouldn't be. I mean, the guy can do everything. He's got a strong arm. He's got great range. Talking to Pat Listash, their third base coach, the other day, and he was just raving about Ian. Pat was a former Rookie of the Year as a shortstop with the Milwaukee Brewers. So he knows a little something about playing shortstop, and he's just talking about the range this kid has. There's Pat. And just the ability to make every play, but also offensively. I mean, he's 3 home runs, 17 RBIs, hitting 355. .255. I said 355. Excuse me.
He wishes he was hitting 355.
255 still nice though.
Yeah, for a young player. This is shattered bat line drive right at Clint Barnes. So Jason Hamill gives up his first knock. A top spin job up the middle. Rockies will have help leading off in the bottom of the second. Baseball fever at Taco Bell. If Colorado scores 7 or more during any ball game, go to Taco Bell the next day between 4 and 6. Feed your fever with 4 tacos for $1 with the purchase of a medium drink. And the fastball's in there for a strike. 0-1 on Hilton. Todd did not play in game 1. Jason Giambi played well. He made a couple of very good defensive plays. Started a 3-6-1 double play that was key in the ball game, and also lobbed one into the bullpen in right center field. The Rockies bullpen to tie up the game at 1-1 is 410th career home run, number 1 in 2010.
Well, it was nice to see. As I mentioned in our open, it was a 62-mile-an-hour curveball, and he was able to stay back and hit it that far on a ball that was thrown that slow.
Helton lines one to center field, and it's gloved by Niger Morgan. Time to go outside the box with Jack in the box. All right, go back 35 at bats. That's not that far for Giambi from his previous home run. His longest drought was a long time ago. He went 166 ABs. Outside the box, brought to you by Jack in the Box. Well, Jason, the last couple of ball games, has really gotten dialed in. Well, and I think Jim Tracy, you know what, Huey made the best point. He said the first 22 at bats this year, he's 2 for 22. He said we sent him up there against Heath Bell. We sent him up there against, Brian Wilson.
Right.
I mean, all the nasty closers.
Jonathan Broxton.
And then we give him a start, and it's against Jonathan Sanchez on the left side.
Yeah, left on left. And think about this, too. 22 at-bats in 5.5 plus weeks or so. So that averages out to a little over 3.5 per week. I mean, Jason will get 3.5. He got 3.5 in a ball game the other night, and then the first game today. So, I mean, you look at it, that's nothing. In 5 weeks of the season, at 22 at-bats, everybody's going, oh, he had no 98. Well, you know what? Since that time, he's raised his average up over 100 points in 2 ball games. That tells you how few of at-bats he had.
1 and 2 on Ian Stewart, hitting .301, 6 home runs, got 20 ribbies now. And Stewart hits it to center field. Adelano is keeping him off balance enough that the Rockies haven't gotten the barrel to the baseball.
Well, he has enough movement on the ball that it kind of locks you up a little bit as a hitter. You start to swing and it moves just a little bit into your hands, off to the end of the bat. When he's pitching that at home, his record's 1-0, but a 5.56 ERA, but on the road 2-0 with a 1.59.
At the knees, Barmes takes a strike. 2 for 4 in the opener with a couple of RBIs.
4 strike zone. Notice that movement. That started off the plate and then made it.
That ball off the end of the bat. A lot of spin on it. A 1-2-3 inning for Adelano. We'll go to the third. No score. plays of the week. Brad Hoff against Roy Halladay, down 3-1. Not anymore. 2-run triple for Brad Hoff. And then in the 10th inning, Chad Durbin hangs a breaking ball, and Miguel Olivo with the walk-off home run as the Rockies beat the Phillies. And let's not forget, on Thursday, Esmil Rogers got his first big league hit. Our AMCO clutch plays of the week. AMCO AA MCO. 8-9-1 to face Jason Hamill for the Nationals in the third. This is Will Nieves, and he takes a heater for a strike at 92.
We're given part of the night off anyway to Pudge Rodriguez, who caught the first ball game. That's another 0 for 4 in that game.
This is top foul by Nieves. 0-2 count. Repair that chip in your windshield. Call SafeLight Elite Auto Glass 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com. And Hamill with a breaking ball. A couple of hops at Barnes. He's aggressive. Gets to the good hop. 1 out. That'll bring up Luis Atalano, the pitcher. Let's take a look at our Geico quote of the day. Jimmy Pearsall, who once ran around the bases backwards after a home run, on how to diaper a baby. This should be interesting.
Oh, boy.
Spread the diaper in the position of the diamond with you at bat. Then fold second base down to home and get the baby on the pitcher's mound. Put first base and third base together. Bring up home plate. Pin the 3 together. Of course, in case of rain, you got to call the game and start all over again. Pearsall was different.
That's an understatement.
Anybody that would come up with that that set of directions for diapering a baby, which works.
Doesn't it make sense, though?
It does make sense. Everything in baseball terminology. But how about, could you imagine if you ran around the bases backwards today?
No, not at all. Not the way with the internet, everything else.
2-1 on Atalano, is 1 for 8 at the plate. Atalano is an interesting young man in that he was a sandwich pick, a supplemental pick by the Atlanta Braves back in 2003 out of Puerto Rico. The island of Puerto Rico is players who are from Puerto Rico are part of the June draft, by the way, which is a few weeks away. And he was drafted by the Atlanta Braves. And Atlanta rarely makes mistakes when it comes to pitching and guys you take high in the draft.
Yeah, he had 35th pick overall, but then he had Tommy John surgery in 06, missed part of 06 and 07, and then they decided, you know what, we'll go ahead and trade him. And that's why he's now over here with Washington.
And that's part of the story that's interesting, in that Atlanta traded him to Washington for Darrell Ward 21 days, 3 weeks after he had Tommy John surgery. So Washington said, wait, you know, the success rate is very high for Tommy John surgery, and we'll wait. We'll wait till he recovers, but we want another young arm.
Yeah, that's the key, young arm. I mean, even with Tommy John now, it seems like guys are coming back stronger. They can throw harder. They don't have that wear and tear. And the procedures and the recovery time and the way you rehab it is truly phenomenal, that guys are able to come back like they have been.
Here's the 1-strike pitch to Morgan. Well, there's a lot of guys who've come back from it within the Rockies organization. And George is back in Tulsa, spending time with his family. Congratulations to Georgia. She's graduating high school this year. George and Kay's youngest. Parker, their second youngest, who's done very well in the Rockies organization, had Tommy John surgery late last summer. He's already basically fully recovered. I mean, he's throwing in the low 90s. He's throwing all his pitches, and he's not far away from going out. He's down in Tucson.
Taylor Buckles, same thing. Yeah. Tommy John surgery. He's going to be back hopefully within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
1-2, good pitch. He gets away. Phillips has got to scramble because Morgan can run. And a good play by Helton to reach out and grab that throw. Paul Phillips scrambling behind the plate. Hamill looks very good through the first 3. The 3rd inning, the Rockies will have Paul Phillips to lead things off out of the 8-hole. We check the Sweet 16 of ballpark food. Remember, text your vote to 95323. You're voting on popcorn, Rocks 1, or Cracker Jacks, Rocks 2 tonight. And let's get an update after this pitch to Paul Phillips. That's inside, ball 1. Hot Dogs narrowly beat Brats last Saturday. And right now, Cracker Jacks way out in front.
Well, doesn't mean, though, that the popcorn people can't hop on board and get their product up there.
Well, you have to keep in mind that usually a lot of the outlying precincts get their votes in early, but a lot of the urban area precincts, people arrive a little bit later. The polls stay open a little bit later in the city areas, and so those votes aren't tabulated till much later.
But it's Saturday.
Yeah.
Typically, I could see it if it was Sunday.
3-1.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. But Saturday, unless they've been up in the mountains or trying to get some of the rain out of their basement or something like that.
I was trying to do my best. I was trying to do my best, Brian Williams.
I know what you were trying to do.
3-1 on Paul Phillips, and this ball is popped foul and out of play. Talk about a guy who's overcome injuries. Paul Phillips missed almost 3 entire seasons to an arm injury, and he stayed after it.
Perseverance.
Yeah. Outside, ball 4. So Adelano with his second walk. Told you off the top that he could be a nibbler. And now that sets up Jason Hamill to move Phillips along.
Jason's looking down at the sign, but everybody in the ballpark knows what he's going to have to do here. He's going to have to lay down a sacrifice bunt. What you want to do with Ryan Zimmerman so close and charging in, you want to bunt it towards first baseline.
Gets the bunt down. It's a good one. Fundamental baseball executed there. That'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez. Did you know that you could sign up for an in-home energy audit and learn simple ways to save around your house from Excel Energy? Here's the Excel Energy fun fact tonight. Ballparks around the country will serve 21,378,064 hot dogs this season. Enough to round the bases 29,691 times. Who was counting? If laid end-to-end, the dogs would stretch from the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, to Coors Field with enough left over to give a hot dog to every fan at every Colorado home game for the entire 2010 season. The things we didn't know upon the start of tonight's ball game. And that dog's almost gone. Here's Cargo.
Now, does that include, what's his name, Joey Chestnut, the hot dog eating champion?
Joey could eat like from Cooperstown to Endicott, New York, which would cover, the first 100 miles of the journey. By the way, visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more energy-saving tips from Excel. Cargo leading the club in RBIs, despite spending most of his time this year batting leadoff. Boy, that was pitch to hit there.
Just an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, which is on some people's radar average. Some other people consider 90 miles an hour average for the major leagues. So Smith.
So far in 2010 in the National League, 90.1 is is National League average. Pick play. Adelano almost broke his ankle spinning.
The spike got caught a little bit when he went to spin and throw. The timing was pretty good on this. Desmond gives the glove, and they had an opportunity to make it a little bit closer. This will give us a better look, but then when he went to stumble or to turn, he stumbled. Remember, to second or third, you do not have to throw the baseball, only to first base unless you step off the rubber.
Well, Paul Phillips at second base. Here's an interesting stat for you. Dougie just looked this up. In the 14 starts since last year with Paul behind the plate, the Rockies are 10-4. This ball is hit a mile, stay fair. It is a full ball to a jack. Carlos Gonzalez. And the Rockies lead it 2-0. RBIs 27 and 28. For the star in the making, Carlos Gonzalez.
And his fourth home run now on the season. They didn't need to worry about hitting that 89-mile-an-hour fastball. He was just going to wait for the 73-mile-an-hour curveball. Wanted it away, but then just broke into that sweet spot down and into a lefty. That hand positioning, the Hyundai Cam just doesn't do a whole lot. Notice how that barrel kind of drags through there a little bit and then just whips through the zone.
And what was impressive for me, and I know it was impressive for you, is it gives you an idea how long the bat stays in the zone and how he keeps his hands inside and that the ball didn't turn foul.
A lot of times when you're right, Drew, because if that barrel gets out in front of you just a little bit too much, that ball at the last probably 25, 30 feet or so will hook foul. That one, he knew as soon as he hit it that it was staying straight. He just waited at home plate just to make sure that he would get a good look at it too. And then it goes into the second deck.
He's got a 9-game hitting streak now. Seth Smith takes up high, 2-1. Don Baylor's smile on his face. Said, "Hey kid, whatever you're doing, keep doing it."
Yeah, don't change anything. And that's where, as a hitting coach or anybody around him, just don't talk to him about hitting. Don't ask him what he's doing. Just don't wake him up.
This guy's got a chance. High and deep right field. Take a good look. You won't see this one for long. Back to back. Number 5 for Smith. 3-0 Colorado.
And that was the luxury we were talking about earlier in the broadcast, Drew, to have a guy like Seth Smith that you can run out there in back-to-back games. 5th home run on the season now for Seth. His 15th RBI. 2 times now, Luis has missed his spot. They wanted to try to go around that time. There was a fastball at 87 miles an hour. And man, oh man, you can't leave that belt high in their third part of the plate. Hyundai Cam, and the hip rotation on that. You could just see how those hips just opened up and allowed him to take the barrel straight through the baseball.
Steve McCaddy out there chatting with him. Well, if you're a pitcher, you don't like to see your catcher kind of rise out of his stance with that look off in the distance. That ball was belted. I mean, over the bullpen into the second deck, several rows by Smith. Both of those home runs were hit a long, long way.
The Southwest Guide Cam. Notice that ball was about inner third, and he just turned on it.
First time this year, Huey, the Rockies have gone back-to-back. It will not be the last time.
It might be back-to-back-to-back if he makes a mistake to hop.
Could very well be. Brad stayed off that. No swing, 2-0. That catches the zone. 3-0 Colorado. That was a good pitch.
The movement, the sinker away from him. They wanted it away, and then it chased it off the plate even more. All 3 pitches prior to that were off the plate. So was the 4th. Especially after giving up a couple home runs. In the last place, you really want to go as a pitcher back inside again.
Well, Giambi's hit a home run today. Olivo not pictured. Smith has hit a home run. Little Pony's gone deep. Here's Little Pony. I love that nickname. Brad Hopp put that on. And Hopp is gone for the second out. First strikeout for Adelano. Let's see how Troy handles this the best. See, the home run guys get the hug. Troy, I think in his first at bat, angry with himself, not only with the result. He came up first and third in the first inning with 1 out, hit into a 4-6-3 double play. But with a guy, Huey, that he's never seen before, maybe a tad bit over aggressive. He fired at the first pitch and really hit a weak ground ball to second.
Yeah, and that's a frustrating at bat for a player, because you know you should have driven that run in, and you take a swing that's not your type of swing. It's kind of down and away from you, and you try to stay on it, but you just hit the 2-hopper double play ground ball. That's probably the most frustrating at bat for a player, and especially a guy like Troy hitting in the 4-hole.
Ball, 2 hops to Desmond. Rockies have a productive inning, and they're all smiles in the dugout. Why not? Phillips led off with a walk, moved to second, and Ricardo drove him in and himself in. And then right behind him, Seth Smith hit one to the second deck. 3-0 Rockies. There's gone deep. 3-0 Rockies. Today's Fast Cash Sideline Report brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Here again, Alana Rizzo.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. In case you missed it at the beginning of the ball game, a couple of roster moves for the Colorado Rockies. Jason Hamill activated, obviously. He's on the hill. But the corresponding move, Eric Young Jr. actually was placed on the 15-day DL. EY in the first game on Wednesday was turning the corner at first base and stumbled a little bit, and at first he thought it was just a shin splint. He said, that's the part of my body where when I slide, I tend to hit that part first and I tend to bruise it. He said, I thought it was just a deep bruise, but when he came into the park on Thursday, it was still bothering him. He had a knot on it, so Keith Duggar, the head athletic trainer here, said, let's be precautious, take some x-rays, and that's when they found out that EY had a stress fracture, and the way he explained it to me was it's basically smaller than even a hairline fracture. He said, it still feels just like a bad shin splint, but he's going to be out for at least a month, guys.
Yeah, that's a shame because EY was obviously contributing. And even if he was part of the move today, you know, there was speculation that maybe he would be sent out with Hamill coming back. He's a guy that Jim Tracy has said all along will be a big part of the Rockies' success this year. And sometimes for a young player, developing player, you go back and forth a little bit.
Well, it's just part of the process. I think every young player's had to go up and down at least 1 or 2 times, and you try not to do it. You don't want to do it, but it's just the way it is because you have options other guys don't. A lot of different rules or whatever goes into play. But it is unfortunate. Anytime you get injured, you don't like to be down, especially a guy that uses his speed as much as Eric Young does. Still has a positive attitude. Talked to him in the locker room today. Still had a big smile on his face. Said, hey, nothing I can do.
Ryan Zimmerman fouls it off. It's 0-2 after the Willie Harris fly ball to center field. You know, Hamill got ahead of Zimmerman in his first at bat. And kind of jammed him just enough with a fastball that it was as has been said a million times in baseball, a lazy fly ball. That's one that doesn't have any action to it.
And it was a lazy.
Life to it.
The thing with Ryan, there's really not many holes in his swing. If you come inside and you make a mistake, he'll hit it to left, but he can also hit the ball to right field. And we saw the broken bat earlier in the first game today off of Baldo to drive in the first run that wasn't hit all that hard, but he can stay on the ball a long, long time.
Here's the 1-2. And he jammed him again. But this pop is going to end up over the dugout. Hamill's been impressive so far. The only national to reach was Roger Bernardina, who topped one over the head of Hamill, and it just had enough topspin to go right between Barmes and Tulowitzki, who were trying to get to the baseball.
What I like is 46 pitches only so far with 29 strikes. That's the other thing for Jason. It's not, we haven't seen a high pitch count inning yet.
That's a great pitch, and it's going to be a bad result, though. That's the second hit of the game. That's how good he's been. Zimmerman hits one 70 feet, ends up at first base. So with one out, that'll bring up Adam Dunn.
Well, if you want an explanation of a swinging bunt, all you have to do is look at this one, because you can go put it in the dictionary. He's just swung. Nothing Ian Stewart can do other than pick it up, throw it right back to Jason.
Well, this guy's a 300 hitter without that kind of help. And against the Rockies, he's now 12 for 23 this year. Adam Dunn, who's come on strong after scuffling the first few weeks. And that's a strike. Dunn was hitting 176 with a home run and just 4 RBIs on April the 22nd. Since then, he's hit 307, 7 home runs. He's driven in 14. He's a lock year in and year out for 40 home runs. Good pitch. 0-2. Well, this is the one mistake that Jimenez made in the first game, and the only home run he's given up this year. A split finger up, and Dunn crushed it.
If you're going to make a mistake and a guy hits a home run, at least he's going to hit one up into the third deck. It's okay. You're going to give him up far. Those wall scrapers are what make pitchers mad.
So Jimenez goes 56 innings without giving up a home run this year. And now he's given up a whopping 1. Baldo's ERA, 112. He continues to lead baseball on starting pitchers in ERA. He is now 7-1. You know, the other day when the Rockies got rained out, it was yesterday. They've gotten rained out every day. Ubaldo, who was scheduled to pitch yesterday, in the rain is out running sprints once the game was called.
Well, we talk about it all the time, what he does the next day after it starts. Tomorrow morning, he'll be up at 7 a.m. He'll have his breakfast. He'll go out for his run, 5 miles or so.
Actually, yeah, even longer, 6-7 miles.
Yeah. But that's why he's become one of the elite pitchers in the ballgame. The dedication, the hard work, realizing, you know, I'm only as good as my last start.
Yep. Here's the 1-2 to Dunn, and he got it. Good pitch by Hamlin. He's hitting location. He's keeping the national hitters off balance. That is the second out. It'll bring up the veteran switch hitter Christian Guzman.
This ball just kind of ran away from Adam Dunn. It wasn't on the forward strike zone, but because he was keeping him off balance with some fastballs in, with some breaking pitches, that he saw it coming out of the hand as a fastball, but just couldn't reach it.
That's a strike. Back up the middle, and Guzman has the first clean hit of the ball game against Jason Hamill.
I want to go back to that strikeout just a moment ago of Adam Dunn. And from the Southwest Sky Cam, we'll get a great observation of how Adam he stepped and then realized, uh-oh, I've got to really try to reach for it. And Adam Dunn's a big guy. He's 6'6", about 260, 280, somewhere in that. I don't know how big. I know he's 6'6", but a very large man, but he couldn't even reach that. And he uses a big, big bat. That just shows you how much movement that ball had and how much run it had from Jason Hamill.
And now you want to put your foot down here. 2 outs, 2 on. Roger Bernardina, young player at the plate. Bernardina had the first hit. Now Paul Phillips will go out. And Barmas will come along.
Well, usually when the second baseman or shortstop go in there, they're just looking to see, are you changing anything with your pitches? Are you looking at anything different, or do I need to be aware that you went to a different sign?
Now, let me ask you this, because you were a middle infielder. If you are going to change signs, why would the shortstop, in this case Tulowitzki, also not be there?
Because Clint can relay the sign to him. Usually when only one of them goes in, it's not a sign change. You just want to double check. You want to, better that you know, even if nothing's going on, than be out there and think it's one sign and then it's something else and you get caught leaning the wrong way because you're looking for a breaking pitch and it was a fastball.
It's the 1-0. And that's in there. First strike, 1-1 on our fourth strike zone.
Jason's been able to keep the ball down tonight, and that's something that he really worked on the side and even into his start down at AAA. Get back to what made him so successful last year.
This ball's left up, and it's going to touch a gap. One run is going to score. The trail runner's Guzman. He's going to get a green light, and he's going to score. A 2-run double for Bernardina, and the Nationals are right back in the ballgame. A hanging breaking ball, and This is one of the things that has happened with Jason Hamill throughout his young career. He's rolling along, and there's always just one inning.
Well, that was one of my Suzuki keys to the ball game tonight. 2, 3, 4. What happened during those innings? Because the other innings he's been pretty good. Hyundai Cam, just a hang and break and pitch. Bernardino stays right on it, drives it to the gap to left center field. What's heartbreaking is it's all with 2 outs too. You got through the big part of the lineup. Yeah, Zimmerman with the swinging bump, but then you got Adam Dunn to strike out, and then it starts to move lower in the lineup, and they do some damage on it.
Desmond on the ground to second. Vargas looks it in, pulls it to his chest, and fires the help. In the inning, there were 3 hits. The 2-out double by Bernardino. He's 7 for his last 12. Tightens this up. Ahead brought to you by E470. Quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. Rockies will conclude this rain-soaked homestand tomorrow. Weather's supposed to be great against the Nationals. Then it's off to Chicago, Huey's old team, for a couple. Rockies will play the Astros for 2, and then interleague play begins with a visit to Kansas City. Only the second time ever the Rockies have gone to Kansas City. They were there a couple of years ago. Helt with a 1-0 count. He lined to center field his first time up. Todd hitting out of the 5-hole. You know, the Rockies have to regroup offensively. They got 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. 2-run home run from Carlos Gonzalez. And then right behind him, Seth Smith hit one into the second deck and right.
Well, you just need to answer what they were able to do with a run or 2 of your own to get that lead back up there again.
And it's 3-1 on top. Three and 2. That's what he does so well, Jeff. He understands counts. It's 3-1. He knew that pitch was a strike, but it's not a pitch that he wants to fire at, so he lets it go. And in this case, he walks again for the 20th time this year. But he's going to, until there's 2 strikes, he's going to wait for a pitch that he wants to swing at.
Yeah, and umpires realize that too, so they're going to give Todd the benefit of the doubt.
So Stewart will come up with Helton at first. Stewart hit a fly ball to center field his first time. 3 walks by Adelano. Inside, ball 1. Rockies 9-7 at home after the afternoon victory. They're 9-8 against the East. Played a lot of games against the East already. Last year, they were good against the East. They were dominant against the Central. And under 500 by 6 games against the NL West, though they were much better the final 4 months against the West. And Stewart, well, he looked like he didn't pick the baseball up. He was really late on that swing.
Well, and with the fastball, too. That was the other thing on that pitch. You see a guy lunge that much to go out there and kind of swing and come off balance off it. You didn't pick it up. Now it goes something real soft on him. Try to bury something in the dirt. Back to the fastball. I'm a little shocked. And the only reason I said that is because, yeah, I just described the swing that Ian just had. But as a catcher, you know that it was an awkward swing. So he's going to be a little bit more balanced and see that ball out of the hand a little bit longer. So if you can bury something, that's what you want to try to go to.
And he misses this one. He pops it up to shallow center. Niger Morgan territory. And that's the first out. Here's today's Rocky Mountain Coal Mining Institute Power Hit of the Week. In game 1, Jason Giambi, a 62-mile-an-hour curveball. Somehow he stayed back, and he hit it in the Rockies bullpen, his first of the year, number 410 in his great career. Did you know that coal has historically averaged less than 1/4 the price of petroleum and natural gas? You may not have known that. I didn't.
Neither did I.
One of the many things I don't know. Here's Clint Barmas taking a strike. Barmas hit a little comebacker.
Yeah, but in that first game today, he was thinking everything up the middle. I know that one he hit off the end a little bit, but his direction today in the first game was great.
This is Adam Dunn. I don't think Adam Dunn really saw that ball because, I mean, he was only a row deep.
Well, that's why he just looked up to the sky just a second ago, because he was like, wait, I didn't see that ball all the way off the bat. Kind of lost it for a second. There's a little bit of wind up there now too, something we didn't deal with too much earlier in this ball game.
And Barmas bounces it to second. Guzman has a problem with it, and that prevents Desmond from even firing to first. So with 2 outs, Barmas is at first. Paul Phillips coming up as we take another look at our Breaks Plus Saturday night poll. Popcorn or Cracker Jacks? And it's tightening up a little bit. Cracker Jacks at 59%. Popcorn coming on. Rocks 1 for popcorn. 95323 is how you text. Rocks 2 for Cracker Jacks. Brought to you again by our friends at Breaks Plus.
Let's see what Luis's time is to the plate. With 2 outs, it might not be a bad time to try to steal a base if you can get a jump.
Did he balk?
It's a balk, yeah.
You don't have to try to steal, man. It's scoring position.
Easier. And now we'll see how Jim Riggleman plays this if he goes ahead and puts Paul Phillips on.
So I don't think he would do it in the 4th inning. See where he balks.
Right there.
Yeah. I don't think he would do it here for a couple reasons. One, it's the 4th inning, and 2, Phillips is you know not an everyday guy, and he was already ahead 1 strike, and now it's 2 strikes. And if you can get him, you have Hamill leading off the next inning.
I understand everything you just said there.
Yeah.
And I agree with it, and I understand. But at the same time, if you walk him and you get to the pitcher, then what happens if he bloops one out there and they score a run, and all those 2 runs you tried to work for last inning is all for naught?
Yeah. And we've had this discussion a lot, and I think it depends who it is from the manager's perspective. And this is not to disrespect at all Paul Phillips. Because Paul, throughout his career in the minor leagues and in brief times in the big leagues, has shown he could swing the bat.
Well, he hit over 300 last year for the Rockies.
Yeah.
So,
but
7
again,
seasons hit 266 at the big league level.
But again, I think from Riggleman's standpoint, he's saying, well, this guy's been up and down throughout his career and is not, you know, if it's Barmes who normally hits in the 8-hole, he may pass on.
If I'm looking out there, this is his 6th major league start for Luis.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's a veteran pitcher.
Good swing there by Phillips. And here's where I know you and I are in lockstep again, because we've conversed about it over, you know, late night snacks many times. And that is, don't set a pitcher up to fail, because unless he's Greg Maddux out there, don't say, hey, be careful with this 8-hole guy because you have the pitcher next. And then, you know, it seems like 8 times out of 10, something ends up in the middle of the plate and it's a base hit and it costs you a run.
Yeah, either do it or don't do it. I mean, either walk him or pitch to him, but don't put a negative thought into his mind. Well, Adam Dunn's going to get some sunglasses. His sun just peeked out. One of the rare times we've seen glorious Mr. Sun here in Denver in the last 4 or 5 days. So that's why he had to call timeout for a second and go over and get some shades.
Got the old flip downs, huh?
He's old school.
Did you use those?
Yes, I did. They didn't have those fancy glasses when I first came up.
1-2 on Phillips, and this is punched to right. It's over the head and foul of Dunn. You saw that beautifully with the last night. Did you ever forget to flip him down? Because it takes coordination to do both.
Actually, when you flip him down, you actually have to hit the bill of your cap first before you go to hit the glass. Otherwise, if you don't, you can miss him. Believe it or not, you can miss the glasses to flip them down. So you're taught to hit the bill of your cap as you're going down, and that way it helps find that little piece that's sticking out. I know it sounds funny. You're giving me that look.
That's close. Inside 2-2. Well, I'm just worried about, you know, you hit the bill of the cap too hard, now you can't see anything.
You have to be coordinated to do it. Just inside on the forward strike zone. Now Paul's worked himself back to a 2-2 count now.
Phillips keeping the at-bat alive. Repair that chip in your windshield. Call Safelite Elite Auto Glass. 303-287-5000 online at safelight.com. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat, 74th of the game for Adelano here in the 4th. And he wins the battle. He gets Phillips. And the Rockies lead Barmes at second. Colorado leading 3-2 as we go to the 5th at Coors Field. You by AT&T. Switch to the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, a better 3G experience. By Brakes Plus, a whole lot more. And by Dex One, marketing solutions, business results. Rockies looking for a doubleheader result they have not had since late in the 2007 season. a doubleheader sweep. They're up 3-2 in the nightcap earlier today behind Ubaldo Jimenez's 8 strong innings. They beat the Nationals 6-2. Pitching comparison so far through 4 innings. Hamill with the better numbers, but Hamill gave up a 2-out, 2-run double to Roger Bernardina in the 4th. After basically being spotless the first 3 innings. And the first pitch, a ground ball to Barnes, and Will Nieves is retired. Barnes has been busy in this ball game. It's his 5th chance, excuse me. All in the bottom of the order. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Ubaldo set a Colorado record for most innings without allowing a home run to start the season. Who held the mark previously? Adelano at the plate. Miguel Olivo getting the day off. It's pretty cool in that dugout, huh?
A little bit of a breeze blowing right down in there. I don't wear the sweatshirt though. Keep the ears warm.
Joe Madden sweatshirt, the hoodie.
He got reprimanded for that, and then they were allowed him to bring it back and wear it again.
Strike 3 on a hook, and Adelano's gone. 2 outs. That is strikeout number 4 for Jason Hamill. You know what? He also got your old buddy Joe Madden also got a signed hoodie from Mr. Hoodie, Bill Belichick, Coach Hoodie.
And then Joe said, well, if he sends me one, I got to figure out what to send him back, because I can't really send him a sweatshirt because he already owns enough of those.
One 1-0 on Niger Morgan. Morgan has struck out twice in the game. Morgan has competed against the Rockies now 15 times in his career, and he's hit .393 against Colorado pitching. His beloved San Jose Sharks still alive in the NHL playoffs, taking on the Blackhawks in the Western semis. Sharply hit. Vargas with his 6th chance. That's a 6-pitch inning. Middle of 5, Rockies up 3-2. Question and answer. Ubaldo Jimenez gave up a home run to Adam Dunn. It ended a string of 56 innings to start a year without giving up a home run. Who held the Rockies' mark before that? Well, he's still a Rockies pitcher and a good one. Aaron Cook in 05 went 48 1/3 with that super sinker before giving up a long ball. Jason Hamill leading off here in the bottom of the 5th. Hamill with an 0-2 count. He had a sacrifice bunt his first time. Bouncing ball cut off by Zimmerman. Almost threw it over Adam Dunn's head, which is hard to do. This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. 3rd inning, Carlos Gonzalez golfed one just inside the foul pole, out. 2-run home run. Seth Smith behind him would hit a home run. Hey, by the way, from now until June 30th, replay any of your non-winning scratch tickets in a second chance drawing. Enter your tickets at coloradolottery.com. And Gonzalez has a 9-game hitting streak, the longest by a Rocky this year.
I'm just interested to see if they're going to try to throw a breaking pitch down and into Carlos again. I don't think so. Likely they'll try to work him away, try to get him to roll over on a ground ball.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Gonzalez. He has 28 RBIs right now. Last year, he had 29 for the season, and he was outstanding in the second half.
Yeah.
That's the second out of the inning. 3rd strikeout for Adelana. Oh, we got another replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Seth Smith. This is what he did in his last at bat after the Gonzalez home run. He hit one over 400 feet over the Rockies bullpen into the second deck, his 5th of the year. And a reminder, any of your second chance, your non-winning scratch tickets, go to coloradolottery.com for a second chance drawing.
Well, that was the first time this year, as you can see from that graphic, the Rockies have gone back-to-back. I like the way Seth, whenever he hits a home run and he knows it, he just drops the bat, puts his head down, and takes off running. There's no showboating about his home runs or look at me or anything like that. He hits them, knows they're gone, drops the bat, and runs.
Is that a kind of a shot at Jimmy Pearsall?
Well, I can understand Jimmy because it was his 100th career home run. Okay, so that's why he ran it backwards.
All-time Cadillac jobs going around the bases. Let's try to list them off the top of our head. As that's ball 4 on Smith, and it'll get hop up.
I kind of like Jeffrey Leonard, 1 flap down.
Put the flap down.
Yep.
I got one for you. Willie Montanez. Ooh. Remember?
Yep.
He kind of went, took his time touching each base when he got close to him. That's high on Brad.
Ricky Henderson took a little time sometimes. Go all the way over by the dugout, give you a little hop.
Here was a subtle one. Will Clark would kind of toss the bat off, put the head down, and says, oh, man, I did it again, didn't I? Just hit another one. Reggie would stand and admire him.
Nobody was going to tell Reggie not to.
No. Well, you know what? I think if I could hit him that far, I'd watch him a little bit too. Did you sprint around the bases?
On my 8 career, yeah, I did. I didn't know they were out.
So you didn't know to the second baseman, you saw him and he was twirling the finger. You can slow down,
Yeah, you
Jeff.
can slow down now. No, actually, there was 2 I did know that were out. Upper Deck and Tiger Stadium.
So you put the flap down?
No, I never did that. Hey, fans, be here May 16th for the launch of Mega Millions, Colorado Lottery's newest game.
Sean Burnett, one of 2 left-handers for Washington, is now up. Hop hits a foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Brad. Single and a strikeout this afternoon for Hop. Here's Burnett.
Well, he's going to be for a couple hitters down. If something happens, Hop gets on to Tulowitzki, then you got back-to-back lefties in Todd Helton and Ian Stewart. Let's take a look at the Washington Nationals bullpen, see what they have out there. We already saw Burnett's up. Doug Slayton's late in the ball game from the left side. Then you don't want to. I mean, Tyler Clippard is in the 8th inning guy, and then Matt Capps, who's been just one of those kind of turnaround stories from last year. Had some saves with Pittsburgh, but been lights out for Washington.
Two balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Seth Smith is at first. He just walked. And Hop with another base hit. And Smith is going to stop at second. He had a notion to go first to third with 2 outs. The wise thing to do is you're in scoring position, shut it down, especially with your cleanup hitter coming up. Time for tonight's Quest high-speed pitch. Adelano's hit 91, Hamels hit 95. That's brought to you by Quest, the high-speed internet provider of the Colorado Rockies.
Well, Troy's had a couple looks at Adelano now. Hit the ground ball to second base. That last one he hit to Ian Desmond in his last at bat in the 3rd inning. He hit that one pretty good.
And Adelano stays away. We're seeing exactly what the scouting report told us on Adelano. A high pitch count. He's closing in on 100, and he's not out of the 5th inning.
Well, every hitter, it seems like it's been 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3. I mean, he just doesn't get early outs very often.
This ball is hit to center field. And going back is Morgan. He's going to have room to make the catch. So the Rockies lead 2 aboard in the 5th. They lead it 3-2. As we move on at Coors Field. The runs in this ball game. 3rd inning. Carlos Gonzalez got a breaking ball down and in. And he flipped it into the 2nd deck just inside the foul pole with Paul Phillips aboard. Seth Smith right behind him would hit his 5th of the year. This also to the 2nd deck. 4th inning with 2 outs. Roger Bernardino got an off-speed pitch up, and he lined a 2-run double to left center field. Zimmerman and Guzman scoring. It's 3-2. That's our Cooney Lexus look back where luxury has an address. Willie Harris out of the 2-hole. Fly ball left field, fly ball center field. Johnson, they're 1-1 on Willie.
You have to get this guy. You don't want anybody to be on base when Zimmerman comes up.
Well, he's going to be on. A base hit up the middle. Not a sharp breaking ball there on the 1-1 pitch. Let's take a look at this date in history. Brought to you by our friends at Dex One. You know what? We're going to do it after Ryan Zimmerman, I'm being told. Zimmerman base hit in the 4th inning, an infield hit, and he would come around to score.
It looked like a line drive in the box score tomorrow, but it didn't go more than 75 feet.
Harris draws a throw. Around baseball today, top of the 8th inning, Arizona leading 6-1 in Atlanta. Justin Upton's hit his 6th in that ball game. Florida in the 8th leading the Mets 7-4. The Mets have lost 3 straight. David Wright, his 8th home run for New York. He had only 10 all of last year. Zimmerman takes a strike. 7th inning, Cincinnati leading St. Louis 4-2. Rasmus a home run, his 7th for the Cardinals. Gomes, who's gone deep for Cincinnati, his 4th. Dodgers and Padres tied at 1 at Petco. They're in the 4th inning. James Loney a home run, his 4th for the Dodgers. There's the 0-1 on Zimmerman. Ground ball to third, chance for 2. There's 1. There's 2. Wow, well done.
How about the pitch, too? A little sink on it, 90 miles an hour under the hands of Ryan Zimmerman. Anytime you get this guy out, you feel pretty lucky. That ball hit right to Ian Stewart, comes up, nice feed to Clint Barmas, gets out of the way of the base runner, comes around the back, and a double play. Perfect feed, nice footwork from Ian, go across the bag. Don't even get stepped on if you're Clint Barmas, have the arm to throw out Ryan Zimmerman. Huge play.
Ball 1 on Adam Dunn. That was a big play. 6th inning, Rockies up 3-2. Dunn, as you see, a strikeout and a ground out. Long home run in game 1. To tie the ball game at 2. Rockies would go on to win 6-2. Pirates won at Wrigley today, 4-3. Holland got the win. Dempster took the loss. Octavio Dotella's 7th save.
That's something like 10 out of 11, 10 losses in the last 11 games for the Cubs.
They are now 7 games under 500. Rockies going there after the ball game tomorrow. The Cubs are 2-9 their last 11.
2-9, okay. Whatever it is, they're dysfunctional. Because they're not doing anything right.
I'm sure Lou will be in a good mood. 3-0 swing and high fly ball to deep right. He's got a chance to get out with the wind, and it will. That ties it up. A 3-0 pitch, and Adam Dunn with his 9th of the year, and it's a 3-3 ball game.
Well, you know that Jim Riggleman's going to give Adam Dunn the opportunity to swing 3-0 with 2 outs. It's 9th home run of the season now. And there was no doubt about this one. Another ball that missed location. You can't throw a 3-0 pitch about belt high and get away with it.
Watch where this ball contacts the bat. This is how strong he is.
I mean, it was down towards the label a little bit. From the Hyundai cam, you could see Paul Phillips' way he's kind of starting to reach back across his body.
That was not on the barrel, though.
It wasn't, but he's so strong that you can't make a mistake up. That's why he was able to hit it out, because that ball was about belt high. Well, Freezer, I mean, this is the area right in there that is the sweet spot. And all of a sudden, he misses it by about 2 inches, but still able to hit it out.
1-2. Now, this is what the Nationals have done. They are a team. We're talking to Mike Rizzo the other day, the general manager. He's traveling with them. He says, we expect to win, honestly. He said, these guys in this clubhouse, the guys we've added, there's Mike with the skull cap on. The guys we've added, 7 World Series, the Kennedys, the Pudge Rodriguez's, he says they expect to win. That's a swing, and Guzman's going to end up at first base. The ball went all the way to the screen. So it's a strikeout, wild pitch, and the inning continues.
Well, a good hustle from Guzman to get down there, realizing that the ball got all the way back to the screen. The takeoff and run. Don't sit there and wait till they appeal it and they call you out. More look at that. That ball goes out in front of home plate. They check down there, and then Paul Phillips looks. He needs to go get that ball and then see what happened. Go ahead and throw to first, and then if they appeal and he didn't swing, oh well.
Roger Bernardina, a single and a double, 2 RBIs.
To get back to your point just a second ago about Mike Rizzo, we'll look at this overhead first.
He went.
Yeah, he did. And that's why right away Fielding Colbert looked down to third base umpire Mike Latinsky to see if he did swing. But real quick, go back to that point you were making a moment ago. They added a lot of guys, but to me they subtracted some guys that they needed to get rid of.
Yep.
Guys that just weren't good in that clubhouse.
Two and out. Pitch count's great, 80. But it's a 3-3 game. Rockies will have Helton leading off in the bottom of the 6th. Hamill came into the ball game looking for his first victory, 0-2, with an ERA above 9. Grew up in the Pacific Northwest, went to junior college in Oregon, signed at a junior college, now makes his home with his wife in Massachusetts, right near the Rhode Island border. Jason, kid who likes to dabble in art.
Fastball in or a breaking pitch away from this young man.
He got him. Yep. Back foot slider. And Bernardina handled this time by Hamill. In the inning, Adam Dunn, as he did in the first game, ties it up with a home run. It's 3.
Let's take a look at the home run that Carlos Gonzalez hit back in the 3rd inning. Just a pretty swing. The way the arms are extended. Nice leg drive right there on the backside. And then the head. And the way everything follows down that path to drive the ball out and also to keep it fair. That was a Frost Brewed Coors Light freeze cam. Carlos Gonzalez's home run.
Got a double switch. Willie Taveras is in the ballgame for Bernardina, so the 6 hole is now the pitcher spot. Willie Taveras slides into the 9 spot, and the left-hander Sean Burnett on for his 17th appearance. Todd Helton at the plate. Todd has gone 145 at bats without a home run. The reason I mentioned that, Todd's not the same player he was in terms of power through the first 6-7 years of his career. He's still a guy who hit 325 last year. But if he doesn't hit a home run in this at bat, it will match his longest career drought. And the first drought was early in his career, late 97 through the first month of 98. Two guys out in right field.
That's not fair.
Willie Taveras and Flipper the Bird. 1-2.
Burnett is particularly difficult on left-handed hitters. The way he steps more towards first base and then kind of a swinging gait type of thing where it comes out and around.
Todd lines it foul. Doug's pointed out to me that bird was a meadowlark. And I trust Doug because he is a card-carrying member of the Audubon Society. Doug, thank you. Two balls, 2 strikes. He's moved around the ballpark. He's got a moth now for dinner. I think he fumbled, though.
Yeah, air on the bird.
Strike 3.
That's what I was talking about, White. This guy is so difficult because he starts it right at the right hip of the left-handed hitters and then breaks it all the way across for the strike and just locks you up. And that's fastball anywhere in the neighborhood of 90 to 93 miles an hour. Slider 75 to 80.
And it's a strike on Stewart, who's hit the ball in the air twice to center fielder Niger Morgan. Rockies 3 runs, 4 hits. The Nationals 3 runs, 6 hits. The Rockies had a 3-0 lead through 3. 2 in the 4th and 1 in the 6th for Washington has tied it up. Adam Dunn, a home run to tie it up last inning. Yeah, they're talking to Dunn about extending his deal. He's a free agent at the end of this year. He originally signed a 2-year, $20 million deal to join Washington. They like him. They really appreciate that he's worked so hard to get better defensively. Mike Rizzo would like him in the fold.
Sure, and I mean, now you're starting to get a nice nucleus of ball players there. You got Ryan Zimmerman, Ian Desmond, keep Adam Dunn. Steven Strasburg is going to be up probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks. They still have the #1 pick coming up in the draft this year.
And the guy that supposedly they're leaning toward, though it's not a given, is Bryce Harper, the 17-year-old phenom who really should be a senior or a junior in high school, but he got his GED and he's playing at Southern Nevada, and He's doing pretty well at Southern Nevada. As of the other day, he was hitting .408 with 23 home runs and 68 RBIs.
Good replay right there to see if that he did swing. No, he didn't. That bat did not go past that line.
And, well, you know, if you go ahead and take Bryce Harper, and it takes, you know, a couple of, even if, you know, I think it would take a few years for him to get to the big leagues, as talented as he is. But, you know, Mike Rizzo's looking at quite a battery when Strasburg pitches in a few years.
Yeah, and Mike's actually gone out there and seen this young man, and he trusts his scouts, and they say, you know, he's one of the top 1 or 2 players in the country.
It's a good pitch by Burnett. You can see Stewart way out on his front foot. 2 outs. Now Steven Strasburg, the most talked about non-major leaguer in a long time. He has a nasty, hard curveball, and of course he can reach 100 miles an hour with his fastball. And his numbers so far in AAA, he's only given up, what is it, 1 hit in AAA?
Yep.
He had a no-hitter through 6 in his second outing.
13 innings, or 12 innings, 13 punch-outs.
I like that, you know, they say, you know, he's still working on a few things. Exactly what is he working on?
I don't know, but let's hope he doesn't find out, because it's going to be like a Baldo now, the way he is.
Ian Desmond caught that in the air. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Burnett. We move on to the 7th inning. Nothing decided. 3-3. Brought to you by Dex One Marketing Solutions Business Results. Back in 1941 on May the 15th, Joe DiMaggio would begin his 56-game odyssey with a hit against White Sox pitcher Edgar Smith. And, of course, the accomplishment would be stopped in Cleveland on July 17th with a little help from third baseman Ken Keltner, who made a couple of great plays in that ball game to rob DiMaggio. And as most of you are aware, DiMaggio, after he went hitless on July the 17th, would hit the next 16.
That's just mind-boggling.
72 out of 73.
But I can't even comprehend that many hits in that many games. And
it's why 1941 is a fascinating season when you talk about the MVP race in 41, because you had a guy by the name of Ted Williams at Boston who hit .406, and DiMaggio had one of the great years and great runs, naturally, of all time.
Could you imagine watching those guys in person? How much fun that would be.
there are folks still around that,
I know,
that have had that opportunity.
When you talk to those folks, too, that's fun because their eyes light up. Thinking about, oh, yeah, I saw him play.
Sure. My dad still talks about watching Willie Mays growing up in New York. Will Nieves has hit a ground ball to second twice, 1 out. Hamill's still out there in the 7th inning.
Well, we can get through this inning. Score tied. His spot's due up second next inning. Already a couple guys out and tossing out the bullpen.
Out number 2. Here's the Breaks Plus poll of the game. It's kind of holding steady now. Cracker Jacks and popcorn. Again, if you want to text your answer to 95323, we're going to do this every Saturday night. It's our Sweet 16 of ballpark foods. You see Beimel on the left side, Matt Belisle on the right side. Willie Taveras with 2 outs. This will be the first at bat for Willie.
You have to honor the bunt. We saw many bunts when he was here wearing a Rockies uniform.
Strike 1 on Taveras. So Ted Williams in 1941, just to finish that comparison, hits .406 with 37 home runs and 120 RBIs. He scored 135 runs. Did not win the MVP. He was second because the Yankee Clipper, DiMaggio, had the 56-game hitting streak, which did capture the nation. Hit .357, 30 home runs, 125 RBIs, but he was a Yankee. And I mean, the raw numbers, .357, 30, 125, that's tremendous.
Yes.
.406 more home runs, 5 less ribbies for Williams. The last guy to hit 400.
Right.
And he had some drama to his season because the last day he was hitting .399.6 or whatever, enough that he would go down as 400. But he said, no, that's not 400. The manager wanted to sit him in the doubleheader. He hit and he went 6 for 8.
Good for him. I mean, that just shows you what type of ball player he was. And a lot of everybody else, I'm sure, would have said, no, I'm sitting on that.
Yeah. Well, Willie was sitting on that pitch, never swung the bat. 1, 2, 3, 7th inning for Hamill. 3-3 stretch time at Coors Field. Baseball on FSN is brought to you by Big Brothers Big Sisters. Be big and donate your car. You get a free tow and tax break, and you'll help change a kid's life. And by Tri-State Generation, the power behind your local energy co-op. And Is this going to result in a hit? Yeah. Paul Phillips with a base knock to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning.
Well, right off the end of the bat for Paul. Pitch was away, a little bit off the plate on the 4th strike zone. Playing up the middle is Christian Guzman, and he reaches far for it. And it tried to throw without making the spin, and that's why the throw was off balance. Now Dexter Fowler's going to come up and bunt. Ryan Spilborghs was going to be the guy. Jim Tracy gives Jason Hamill some handshakes.
Yeah, well done. Jason Hamill, 7 innings. He gives up 3 runs. You can read Jim Tracy's lips. He said, good job, and he means it.
Yep.
And now the perfect guy in this situation. He takes a ball from Burnett. 1, 2, 3, 6 innings. Perfect because he put so much pressure with laying down the bunt that he may be safe on a sac bunt.
Right, you have to be perfect on it, and then when you're trying to be so perfect, you might throw it down into the right field corner.
There's a push bunt, and here's the race to first. High throw. Out at first. Oh, man, here comes Jim Tracy. I didn't get that. Marty Foster seeing if Guzman was still on the bag, but I thought, again, with the naked eye, we'll see. I thought Fowler beat it anyhow.
Well, and Guzman had to jump up and get it, so I don't understand. Just a textbook bunt from Dexter. Lays it down, makes Adam Dunn field the ball in the baseline. Everything's good. That's a bad call. That is an awful call. He comes on. Right now, he starts to get it, but that foot is off the bag.
He was safe anyhow, wasn't he? Watch the foot coming down. Dex is down.
It's down either way.
Dex is down, and the ball's not the glove, and then the foot's off the bag. That's a rough call.
What hurts about it, obviously, now instead of just having one guy in scoring position, one out, you would have 2, nobody out, no telling what Carlos would have been able to do. If they ask him to lay down a bunt, then you got other guys that can drive him in. Now we have the advantage of being able to freeze it with the Hyundai cam, but the ball's not in the glove. Dexter's foot is on the bag right now. Okay, so first of all, he's safe, and it should be a base hit for Dexter. And now when it goes in the glove, and then that's when he jumps up.
1 ball, 1 strike. Again, as you said, we have the luxury of slowing it down, looking at every angle. But not only did he beat it, but you see Guzman have to elevate off the bag. I just didn't see how Marty, who's a good umpire, saw it as safe. Outside, 2-1 on Gonzalez. See, this was a perfect place for Jim Riggleman to have Burnett, who's more of a situational guy, go for more than an inning, because you have 3 straight left-handed bats at the top of the Rockies order today. Gonzalez, Smith, and Happ. 3-1. 7th inning is the Burger King Whopper inning. If Colorado hits a home run during the 7th inning, go to Burger King tomorrow. You get a free Whopper with the purchase of a large drink. You do it between 4 and 6 in the afternoon.
If Carlos gets on here, you might have the luxury of pinch hitting Ryan Spilborghs from the right side.
Three and 2.
Just a sweeping breaking pitch. That's the same one that Burnett struck Todd Helton out back in the 6th inning.
Tyler Walker, the San Francisco Giant. This ball line to center field. Morgan going back. Tagging up is Phillips. And he's going to get the third with 2 outs. And now you think about the importance of that missed call.
Yeah,
what you'd have, again, sequences change. with circumstances. We understand that. But potentially you have first and third and one out with a whole bunch of speed at first base. You put pressure on.
Well, even with as deep as that ball was hit there, I had a feeling Dexter could have gone back to first, tagged up, and maybe got to second base.
Yeah, you're right. See if Smith, who has one hit against lefties this year, can come through. He's 1 for 10. This is the area of ball games from an offensive standpoint where the Rockies have not been good yet. 7th inning on, they have not scored many runs.
Unfortunately, in that first game today, that's the reason, though, they were able to extend that lead just a little bit then.
With 3 in the 8th.
3 in the 8th. But it's coming up with that big 2-out hit to to either extend the lead or to get the lead.
You know, coming into the ball game, the Rockies in the 8th inning have been outscored 20-9, and in the 9th inning, the all-important 9th inning, they've been outscored 11-4 this year. 6th inning, they've been outscored 13-8 as we look at the Amica hit zone on Smith. Here's a 2-1. And it's now 3-1.
We'll take a look at that Amica hit zone again for Seth Smith. Anything that's up a little bit or on the inner third part of the plate, he's doing some damage. It's the ones up and away, which is very typical for a lefty, or down and away to a lefty. Tough to cover all 9 zones.
He was on that breaking ball. And for each Colorado hit from now through the end of the season, Amica Insurance will donate $10 to the Boys and Girls Club of Denver. Thank you, Amica. Up the middle, cut off by Desmond, low throw, not handled by Dove, and the Rockies take the lead. And that was an easy play, or easier, for a first baseman. It was not a short hop. It was a hop that he could see coming, and it was bound to. It was like the old turf throw.
Yeah. Just go ahead and bounce it about halfway out there. Let him go ahead and reach for it. Right back up the middle. We'll see if this went off of Sean's glove and slowed it down. Yes, it did, because when that ball was hit, I thought it was out there. Desmond comes and gets it. I mean, that's an easy pick. It just went right off the heel of his glove. On the cam, you'll see it just kind of rattled around off the heel first, tried to go to the webbing, wasn't able to close it. Yeah, that wasn't an in-between hop, though, or the short hop. That was a longer hop, an easy one to catch.
Paul Phillips has scored 2 of the Rockies' 4 runs. Wow, they're scoring it right now, and I don't like the scoring. They're scoring it an error on Ian Desmond, and I think that's poor, because just because the angle, and you played shortstop for a long time, because a guy throws it in the dirt does not necessarily mean it's his error. Now, if it's a short hop error, I get it. Okay. But that, Julie, wouldn't you agree, that's far enough in advance? He almost did it on purpose.
Well, and the other thing, too, is when he got rid of that ball, he was about 3 steps on the other side of second base. So think about the range that he had to go to get that ball before he even made the throw. And it's a harder throw because you're going against the grain and trying to make a throw. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Drew. I mean, 7th error of the season for Desmond. To me, if it's anybody's error, it's Adam Dunn's.
I mean, it's in his glove. I mean, it's squared up in his glove. And I'm sure Adam Dunn will say, hey, man, that's one I got to squeeze. Yeah, doesn't matter. Earned, unearned. It's a run, and the Rockies are up 4-3, and Paul Phillips is thrilled about it. 1-1 on Brad Hopp. That goes to the backstop, and Smith's in scoring position.
Monday, Cam. slows it down for us, but not for Will Nieves, as that ball just got through the 5-hole. He gave it a wild pitch. That's a ball that just has to be knocked down. Yeah, I know it hit the dirt, but drop to your knees and put your glove on the ground and let it come up and hit you in the chest.
3-1. A hitter's delight. Two on Brad. Rockies up 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th. Hop last year hit .243 against lefties, .303 against righties. So you look at the Ford strike zone. And the foul tip was not held.
Brad in his career against Burnett, 2 for 6. Telling himself right now, make sure you stay through the ball. You just saw his little motion there with his hand. Just make sure you don't pull it across your body. Try to hit everything back up the middle or into the left center field gap.
Burnett strikes out Hop, but the Rockies get the go-ahead run with a little help from the defense of the Nationals. 4-3 through 7. Hard blast. Well, there's 2 to talk about today, or at least in the nightcap. A couple in the first ball game as well. Carlos Gonzalez with a 2-run home run to give the Rockies at the top a 2-0 lead. Seth Smith would come up next, and he hit a home run. His 5th of the year. Ain't no doubter, we might add. Our Coors Light cold hard blasts. Dexter Fowler remains in the ballgame in center field. Carlos Gonzalez will slide to right field. Brad Hop, who made the final out, comes out of the ballgame. Tonight's call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited, local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. And with Nigel Morgan from the left side and then Willie Harris up next, it'll be Joe Beimel, at least initially, in the 8th inning.
Well, he'll be out there for, at least as you said, for these 2 guys right here. Pretty good numbers, strikeouts to walks, .69 ERA. Opposing hitters just 6 for the last 31 off of Beimel. And a ground ball right side. Vargas has been busy.
And he's keeping the shop open late. Played a flawless second base tonight, as he generally does. One out, and that'll bring up Willie Harris out of Cairo, Georgia.
You got it right this time.
Yeah.
I think it was
Butchered it
Cairo.
a couple times. No, not Cairo. Cairo, Georgia. Off the corner, ball one. Last time out, Beimel earned a victory, and it's mentionable because it's the first time he's won a game in a Rockies uniform. He pitched middle relief, situational relief. It's hard sometimes to get those wins. Joe got one.
Matt Belisle, he's been up and tossing with Joe out there. See how Jim Tracy might play this if Joe Beimel gets Willie Harris out.
Yeah, he's got to throw a strike to him. It's 3-0.
Well, the only reason I say that because you got Zimmerman, then you immediately flip around to the left side and Adam Dunn.
Jim Tracy has a lot of confidence, generally speaking, in Beimel, and especially from what he's seen of him this year, to not just be relegated to left-on-left duty.
No, we've seen him go out there for an inning at third, something like that, and he's smart enough to know how to pitch.
This is in the air down the right field line. Long run, and that makes the catch.
I thought there was no chance for him to catch that ball when it was first hit.
I'll tell you what, that was fantastic. A, because he got there, and B, maybe even more importantly, because he has a wall coming up on him quickly. That is our Home Depot doing more on defense. Make the catch, power slide, pop up before the fence. Gorgeous.
Wasn't hit all that hard, but he was able to get over there and catch it. And he meant to just slide like he was sliding into second base. Just stop himself with a pop-up.
What can he do? 2 outs. You know, Joe Beimel is appreciative of the defensive work of Cargo. Bats.com proud to announce the release of a bat celebrating the first no-hitter in Colorado Rockies history. This full-size bat features the image of Ubaldo Jimenez as well as the stats of the historic ball game in Atlanta. And the keepsake's limited to just 2,010 individually numbered bats and sells for $99.95 plus shipping and handling. And the way you can purchase this commemorative bat is by calling 866-280-BATS or see it on the web at BigTimeBats.com. And we have the Big Time bat with us right here. Got to lasso my
number 2
wire here.
Yeah, has everything on it. Ubaldo's picture.
Yeah, hold it this way. Look at that.
You just want to hold it like a bat, like you were going to swing and take a little batting practice with it.
Well, you know what? You'd have to be a strong man to get this bat around. George and I picked it up to, what's that, about 4? Yeah, exactly. Okay. eight career bombs.
That's
now.
pretty neat, though.
However you think it's 40 ounces?
It's about 40 ounces, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. A little top heavy. Well, be careful.
It's a good looking bat.
It is a very nice bat. He'll take it.
It's a promotion.
We'll get in trouble.
How do they do this?
I don't know, but it's so. Look at the ball, there's picture on it.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. There's like 3 pictures of it. That's good stuff. All right, here we go. 1-0 Belisle to Zimmerman. That's in there. 1-1.
Well, pretty good numbers now for Matt. 21 strikeouts, only 8 walks. Filled numerous roles this year. He's kind of been a long man, 3-inning guy. Come in to get 1 batter.
That's a base hit for Zimmerman. And now he's going to have to stare down the barrel. Speaking of big bats, Jeff, of Adam Dunn. Zimmerman, people are going to get to know him because more people are going to follow the Nationals because of their nice start this year, and I don't think they're going to go away.
No.
You're kind of, to me, like the Padres, different kind of club than the Padres. Padres have better pitching. They have better offense. But they're legitimate enough, not necessarily to make the playoffs, but they're going to be nowhere near as bad as for Washington as they've been.
No, I mean, a couple previous years, 59 wins, 72 wins. I mean, the list goes on and on. And for a while, people thought of them as the Washington Generals, the team that always played the Harlem Globetrotters.
Let's take a look at the Amica hit zone on Adam Dunn. He's hit the ball well when it's away from him, but he can make the outside corner, Huey, the inner half.
Yeah, exactly, because his arms are so long. He starts off the plate. He starts open. He'll go to a closed stance once he gets into that launch position, but that bat is so big it can reach so many different parts of the plate. Here's what I'm talking about, right where he hit the home run. It's up and away from him a little bit, right in that area right there, and still drove it out. That left elbow dropped down to get that bat into a position to hit it.
Shift on, 1-1 on Dunn. 2-1. To me, this is an indication, and Matt's been very good this year, but it's an indication that Rafael Betancourt, who battled the flu last week, I mean, he was bedridden, is still not 100% just yet.
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight. He's been able to throw some bullpens, get into some games. But the one game he got into was that raining game the other night. And in L.A., we saw him in the clubhouse. He looked awful there, and he lost a bunch of weight. But it takes a while to build. Anybody that's had the flu, how long it takes you to build that strength back up.
We're getting the ball game a couple of days ago. Esmil Rogers in the foreground. In the background is the veteran, Rafael Betancourt. Here's the 2-2. Swung down and missed. Belisle strikes out Dunn with Zimmerman at first. And we go to the bottom of the 8th at Coors Field. 4-3 Colorado. 3. Nice job by Matt Belisle as he visits with Bob Apodaca. Let's take a look at the replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. The strikeout of Adam Dunn. Something off speed. Was it a changeup?
Yeah, it was. He buried it, turning that hand over. The rotation on the ball going away from Adam Dunn.
Good location. From now until June 30th, replay any of your non-winning scratch tickets. Second chance drawing. Go to coloradolottery.com. Rockies will try to pad their lead as they did in the afternoon. They were up 3-2 in the afternoon in the 8th, and they put 3 on Brian Bruni. And the first pitch, Tyler Walker gets Troy Tulowitzki to bounce to third. And that is out number 1 with Todd Helton getting ready to approach. Numbers on Tyler Walker, who's been a closer before. The Giants, also with Tampa Bay.
20 strikeouts, only 2 walks, 13th appearance for Tyler Walker. Fastball anywhere in the neighborhood of 90 to 95. Hard slider, 82 miles an hour on the average. We've seen him in the San Francisco uniform before. Come in and throw hard. It's another reason why the Nationals are a little bit better this year. They got a guy like Tyler Walker be able to come in and throw here. And Matt Capps.
Well,
Capps has been the story of that bullpen.
14 of 14. He's been best closer in baseball. Helton hits it in the air to right center field. Easy play for Willie Taveras. 2 outs. That'll bring up Ian Stewart.
And for the best ticket value, purchase season tickets or prorated mini plan packages.
Manuel Corpus getting ready to handle the 9th inning. And the good news is you've seen the big guns in the 8th inning. Zimmerman and Dunn are off the deck. Christian Guzman will lead it off, and then the pitcher spot followed by Ian Desmond.
A couple different options. They could go as a pinch hitter. Josh Willingham, maybe Adam Kennedy. And he came in that first game today, 3 easy ground balls, about 10 pitches, and that was one of the questions that was asked of Jim Tracy after the ball game this afternoon. Was can Manuel be ready to go again? He said, why not? He only threw 10 pitches, and sure can.
Well, one thing about the rain is everybody's gotten a lot of rest. Corpus worked Wednesday. He was off Thursday and Friday. This is bounced up the middle with eyes. First hit for Ian Stewart in the nightcap. 2 for 4 in the afternoon affairs. So 3 for 8. Today's game summary brought to you by Ecotech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Take a look at this game from a statistical standpoint. The Rockies 4 runs, 5 hits. That's all. The Nationals 3 runs, 7 hits. They've committed 1 error. Jason Hamill 7 strong innings in his return. And the Rockies got back-to-back home runs. The third 2-run shot from Cargo, solo shot from Smith, 4th for Cargo, 5th for Seth Smith. Clint Barmas at the plate right now. And this ball lined down the left field line and deep, and it is hooked foul.
Just got out in front of it just a little bit. We talked about Carlos Gonzalez being able to hit the ball and keep it fair. That time the rotation just at the end from Clint Barmas with those wrists. You see it hooking just to the left of that foul pole out there. With an 0-2, Tyler Walker likes to bury that hard slider You're Ian Stewart over at first base. Anticipate right now a ball in the dirt.
I was going to go one step farther. Did you run him here?
I wouldn't run him on this pitch.
1-2?
No, 1-2 I would. Because they might elevate a fastball as well, but you got to anticipate a ball down in the dirt right now.
That's where it was. It's punched foul.
They come to the May 28th game and receive Rockies Rewards coupons. Game against Dodgers.
Stewart takes off. Down low, throw to second in the dirt. Stewart's got a stolen base and he's in scoring position.
Well, that's Ian's third stolen base on the year. It was on the breaking pitch.
That's why I like, and Jim Tracy more importantly likes having such an athletic club. Stewart's not going to get you 25 stolen bases, but athletic enough in certain situations. He could steal 10 or 12 bags, and this is a huge, it's a meaningful stolen base.
Because now you're automatically in scoring position. All it takes is a bloop, little fly ball over the infielder's head, seeing eye ground ball, anything else.
And you're +2 going to the ninth.
And an extra breathing room.
Just like, you hit to the wrong spot. So, what a player.
That's why he won a Gold Glove.
We'll go to the ninth inning. Rockies up a run. Corpus will try to knock it down. Crowds 25, 26, and 27. They have Manuel Corpus out there. Post-game report immediately to follow, and Alana Rizzo wearing many hats this day.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. Coming up in the post-game report, MC Hamill, the Rockies starting pitcher, a hit coming off of the DL, and to the nines. Carlos Gonzalez extending his hitting streak to 9 games. We'll talk about the importance of him on this team. And Mr. Smith gets to Washington. Seth Smith, a great day at the plate as well, guys.
All right, Alana, thank you very much. We'll look forward to that. So Manuel Corpus, who got the final 3 outs in the afternoon affair, was not a save situation since the Rockies had gone from a 3-2 8th inning lead to a 6-2 lead. On for the 16th time. Started the year, it spent most of the first 5 weeks, Jeff Houston, as the long man.
Well, but then he came out and he pitched well.
And a great play by Hunt. That's 1 out.
Well, what made that play so great, too, Drew, is that Todd's playing no doubles. He's right on the line. So I realize how much further he has to go to his right. If he's playing in normal depth, everything, that's just an easy ground ball. But where he was playing, he had to dive. And fortunately, he's also left-handed, so he's able to reach there and get it with his glove and then make the flip to Manuel for the first out. That ever important first out of the inning.
That's why he is so invaluable. He plays great defense. Today's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy Johns. In the 7th inning, a bouncer redirected to Desmond. The throw not handled by Adam Dunn, and the go-ahead run scores in the person of Paul Phillips. Our Jimmy Johns delivery of the game. Now Josh Willingham, with a lot of power, will pitch hit. Ian Desmond is on deck. And the fastball, or the hard sinker, if you will, is away ball 1.
Willingham in his career against Manuel 0 for 5, but you have to keep the ball down and or away from Willingham, because inside he can pull it with a lot of power.
1 ball and 1 strike. Just off the plate. 2-1.
But I like where they're trying to go on Josh. Outer third part of the plate. Going out there, and if he's going to beat you, he's going to have to try to beat you going the opposite way.
3-1. Corpus in the World Series season of 2007 saved 19 ball games. 4 in 2008, just 1 last year. So we had some injuries last year. Here's the 3-1. Good pitch.
What about the movement on that baseball?
It'd be hard to elevate that, wouldn't it?
Well, it really would be, because it has movement. It goes and catches that outside part of the plate. It started off the plate and then able to turn that hand over to get it to hit the outside corner.
Good numbers against the Nationals. 3-2 on Willingham. And it's popped up and playable right around the pitcher's mound. That's the mound at Tulowitzki, and it'll be Tulowitzki. And Jeff, you probably had to do that a ton of times in your career. That's not easy.
Well, that's why I was yelling, watch the mound, because I know how difficult that is. You have your eyes, you're just looking at the baseball, and you know that mound's coming up. And how many times have we seen guys trip over the mound as they're going to try to catch a ball? Your footwork, everything gets kind of thrown off. Troy looked at Todd, and all of a sudden he says, I got it, I got it, I got it.
He had to run right over the rubber area, too. I mean, the highest point of the mound. 2 outs, nobody on. And it's Ian Desmond, who's 0 for 3 in the ballgame. 0 for 6 on the day. And a slider for a strike. Good crowd on a Saturday night, and they're all standing.
A little over 35,000 for this ball game.
Rockies an out away from a sweep. Line drive, fouled off, and it's 0-2. Off the end of the bat.
Got a lot of options now. He's throwing back-to-back sliders. He throws a slider that starts on the outside corner and goes off the plate for a ball to see if he'll swing at it, or that sinking fastball that runs back towards the outside part of the plate.
Phillips going off the plate away. 1-2. And on the ground to help. Move over the bag, and the Rockies have their first sweep since September of 2007. They win 4-3 in the evening after a 6-2 win behind Ubaldo Jimenez this afternoon. And with the sweep of the Nationals, they're back to 500 at 18-18. The player of the game is brought to you by Ranger for the ones who get it done. Jason Hamill off the disabled list, and he gets his first victory of the year. 7 innings, 6 hits. He gives up 3 runs, did not walk about it, and he struck out 7. Terrific performance by Hamill. Burnett takes the loss. He's 0-1. Corpus, his first save of the year. 4-3 Colorado. Don't go